Okay, and welcome. We are here doing an interpretation of the formative profile, the formative assessment profile using the TSI, and the member that we are looking at in terms of his profile is Elf Presley. He is in the group called Broadsword, and let's look at it so you can understand how to interpret this. Okay, we have the listing here, of course, of all the team skill items according to the cluster, like attends to teamwork, seeks and shares information, and so forth. Then we have here three columns which address peers' percentage feedback, and then another three columns which address the self-evaluation data. Okay, three columns for each. Now, because this is formative, okay, mind you, because it is formative only, we only see data for the formative, meaning the first time, the first go around for the evaluation. Disregard the summative column because we haven't done the summative evaluation yet, and disregard the change column. Okay, the only thing you will pay attention to in the formative profile regarding the change column is simply whether or not a certain item or team skill has been designated by you, the student, as a goal. And you can tell if it's marked with a star. Okay? That's the only thing to note. Otherwise, in the formative profile, you will only be looking at the formative data, the percentage of peers right here, and you will only be noting if you addressed or designated a certain team skill as a goal, and then you will only look at the self-evaluation area regarding the how you designated whether you demonstrated a certain skill as shown with a check or not. Okay, if it's left as a 0, that means you did not check it as being demonstrated by yourself. Okay? And once again, we see a carryover from once you have designated a team skill item as a goal, as shown with a star, that will then carry over all the way to the summative, because we want to compare when you first designated or selected a team skill as a goal and how well you did at the summative regarding that goal. And there'll be a certain way in which the star will be shown. I'll show you that later when we interpret the summative profile results. Okay? For now, let's go through Elf Presley's formative profile. You see here simply that the number of peers in his team was 4. Okay? There are 5 people in the group. Okay? As you see here in the formative inflation index. Okay? It always lists the full number of team members, but here we're only showing the number of peers. That does not include the person, Elf Presley. We're only looking at his peers. So, therefore, if there's 4 people in a team and 75% gave him credit for demonstrating team skill 1, which is here, that means 3 of the 4 felt that he demonstrated that team skill adequately. If there's 50%, that would mean 2 out of the 4. All right. If there's 25%, that means one out of his 4 peers felt that he demonstrated that. Pretty easy, huh? Okay. If in the self-evaluation columns he checked a particular item, that means he or she is giving themselves credit for demonstrating that team skill. That's what the check means. If it is a 0, okay, that as in here, for example, team skill 17, question 17, that means that person is not giving themselves credit for demonstrating that particular team skill. That's why it's at a 0. Okay? So that's what these all mean. They're simply the number of people who completed the TSI evaluation on this particular person, And that's good. You know that it's a full number. If it were 3 people, if the n was 3, even though there's 6 people, that would be a problem. There should be 4 people who participated. And then at the bottom, you'll see the full number here. The formative evaluation index is the last thing I will explain. Okay? And what that is the number of evaluations performed by that person on this particular sheet, by this evaluator, that were inflated. By inflated, I mean they checked 20 or more of the team skills. It could mean that one of the people they gave 20 or more team skills to were themselves, or him or herself, and or it could mean that person credited a team member for 20 or more team skills. If it's 20 or more, then you'll see, for example, 1 out of 5, meaning 1 out of 5 of the evaluations were inflated. If it were 2 out of 5, it would mean 2 out of the 5 evaluations this person did were inflated. In summative, obviously, because we have not done the summative yet, that is why it is simply 0 of 0. So again, no need to look at this yet. It just is simply there for when the time comes, the data will change likely based upon what is filled in when the person does the summative. Okay? And you can always print this out too if you want to. Okay, looking at the particular data under the formative column will be very helpful for a person as they think about what they need to improve, and also as they think about improving a particular goal. Okay, and obviously in many cases, you don't want to check. You don't want to give yourself credit for something that you designated as a goal. You want to check an item, select that item for which you don't think you demonstrated it very well, and then it becomes a goal to achieve. Okay? Anyway, okay, so more later when we do more later to come on the other videos. Bye for now.